Hi, welcome to Sweet Mama's Farm. Today we want to introduce you to our Icelandic sheep. And they are pretty cool because they are the oldest and purest breed of sheep in the world. And 2,000 years ago, the Vikings brought them over to Iceland, and they pretty much haven't changed since. And because of that, they have some unique traits that other sheep don't. One of the unique traits is they actually are born with short tails. Your typical sheep is born with long tails, and they end up having to dock those. But we don't have to do that with our Icelandics. The other cool thing with Icelandics is that they actually have two types of wool on them. They have thale and tog. They have an inner coat and an outer coat. And the Vikings actually would have used the outer coat because it's a coarser and rougher wool for their outer clothing, rugs, things like that, keep them warm. It was waterproof, or more waterproof. And then the inner is soft, and so they would have used that for their inner clothing, baby clothes, etc. And the really cool thing about their wool is they actually rue. So they shed naturally once a year. And so we're going to actually show you guys one of our ewes who's in the process of rueing, but we're going to help her out a little bit. It's easier to shear when they start to rue because it brings up. So we're going to show you guys that today. So about this time of year, usually between April to May to June, our Icelandics start to rue. And some of them do it better than others. Our ram, we don't even, like if we don't want to shear him, we don't have to. He just sheds beautifully. He's completely shed right now. A couple of our ewes, they start to shed, but then there's parts that they're just having a hard time. This ewe in particular, she's starting to rue, but it's just not coming off as nice or coming off at all. So we're actually going to kind of help her out today, and I'm just going to show you guys our process of doing that. Like I said before, Icelandics actually don't need to be sheared typically, but because it is getting hot here, we're gonna take it off of her because it's starting to get into the 80s, and I don't want her to die. So I'm just trying to find a break right now so I can get going, and then once I start, and I don't even get shearing scissors. I just get fabric store scissors, and I just kind of start cutting so that it's not too close to the skin just at start, so I don't nick her. And we're just gonna try to get it to go. Icelandics actually, they do, I believe in Iceland, so see how this is, you can see it's starting to pull away from her skin. It's just kind of gotten matted, so it's not coming off very nicely. Iceland and other people, they actually shear their Icelandics twice a year. So they'll shear it in late winter, and then they'll shear it in the fall. For as far as I know, this is about the only sheep that you shear twice a year. The fall one is the best fleece. Most people want that one because it's way cleaner than the winter because you don't have all the hay stuff going on. One thing you do if you're gonna shear your own sheep, shear your own Icelandics, what I found, especially when they're ruined, it's really nice because you can see there's a line. But that's where you wanna try to get as close to the skin as possible. I found like if you leave it too long, it actually clumps up, and then when their wool's growing out, like it'll clump, and you have clumps all over their wool. So just be mindful of that. If you're wanting to keep a little bit on, that's fine. But like if you start seeing clumps, then you might have to just go back and cut those clumps out. We put, starting this year actually, we started putting them up on the stanchion to shear them up top, so we're not having to manhandle them so much. And then the scissors, and this does take a while. Like if you got the money to get a shearer, highly recommend it. But this year we're trying out shearing all of them ourselves. So there you go. Look at that. That's nice. So see, it's thinner right there. That's where she's really. So it just. Okay, so we got the first half of her done. This is her one side. This is how skinny they are. Now we're gonna work on the other side. There's like, in my opinion, don't, if this is your first time shearing, don't stress about like how to do it. Just cut and just try to not nick your sheep. In real, like in essence, that's just what you're trying to do, is get as close to their skin so you're getting as much wool as you can. Keep the length, and then but yet you're not trying to cut their skin. Techniques obviously that professionals do, but you're not a professional and you don't want to get one. You don't just cut. Maybe that's bad advice.
Look at the camera.
Oh, she's peeing on me! Oh, my scissors!
Have fun.
Did you record that? Now I need to get around her, and the stanchion kind of gets in the way. So my husband Parker is gonna just kind of hold her for me for a minute while I get her mane cut off. Here she is sheared.